Hello, 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 everyone, and thank you for tuning in. This is the Real News Talk Show, and it's African American History Month, you guys. So that's why I'm dressed this beautiful outfit that was given to me by a friend for my birthday. And I told her, I said, I'm going to wear that and I'm going to do a show. But it is really beautiful. Look at this. Oh, look at this. It's back. Oh my God, it's just so beautiful. I mean, and it was given to me by a friend, you guys, for my birthday. My birthday was February 1, day 1. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. And I'm bringing this show to you guys because I want to celebrate Black History Month because of my ancestors and those that paved the way for me in my life, and also for others that went through, hardships, hard time, racism, death threats, hangings, lynchings, and all of that. I want to say I am here today because they paved the way for me through God. Even my grandfather, he was in World War One and Two, and he used to tell me all of the stories, including my grandmother, my great grandmother, and my mother. My grandmother, I didn't get to meet my great grandmother, but she raised my mother, who was an only child and had eight of us, and I'm the seventh sibling. And she would tell me stories, and actually, my mother would tell me stories that she heard from her mother. I mean, her grandmother, which was my great grandmother, who was half white because of things that happened back in slavery. So, someone way back then had sex with someone black. So, my great grandmother's half white. She raised my mother, an only child, and my mother would tell me the stories. And my grandmother was 97 when she passed some years ago. I would say about maybe 10 years ago. And she told me some wild stories, you guys. I mean, some stories that you would not believe. And so I know this stuff was real, the slavery, the racism. But you know what? There was always one good Caucasian person that was always there for the slaves, and that was always there for African Americans in this society. Not all Caucasian people are racist, and not all black people are racist. But the reason I'm saying that is because of the fact that the Caucasian people, some of them fought, for us, and then they would too get killed because if back in the days, if the white supremacists saw that they were catering to African people and African Americans, then they too would get killed or mistreated because of that. So there was always one person, which is why a lot of us have the land. Like my dad, the land was passed down from the slave master to his father, who passed at 107 years old. And they worked on the land in Huntsville, Texas, where they picked cotton and everything. And that land was passed on through slavery. And so there was always some good white people that would allow the African people to get ahead. So we can't say all Caucasian people are bad, and we can't hang on to that because our people and our ancestors have already paved the way for us. So now we can do things ourselves. We don't have to wait on anybody to say yay or nay. It's up to us to get out there and make our own money, make our own life, and try to be as positive as possible, even during this society where there is still a lot of racism going on in the world today. Oftentimes, you even see young people that are still racist, and that goes for both black and white, and it's because of how they were raised. Even though you have a lot of mixed interracial, which all of us, I have white in my family, black in my family. And so this is why most African American people are not racist, because of the fact that through slavery, the women were being raped while the Men were out in the field working and picking cotton, and their wives were being inside the house being raped. And so this is why we're all nationalities. Black people come in every color, from white to black. So we have no time in our life to be prejudiced because of the fact that we are all of that. We're all of it. We're mixed. We're everything. We're all of it. And this is why when people see black people, they see us in all colors because God made it that way. We are all of that. We are white. We are black. We are brown. We are blue. We are yellow. We are albinos, with pale skin from pigmentation disorder, with blonde hair and blue eyes, and we're just everything, you guys. So that's why today I'm celebrating African American History Month and Martin Luther King. Thank you, thank you, thank you, because you have opened up many doors for black people who just couldn't see a way out. But the way I was raised was to be proud of who you are because God made every human being on this earth. They're supposed to be who they are. The white's supposed to be who they are. The Chinese supposed to be who they are. The black's supposed to be who they are. The African's supposed to be who they are. Because if we were all white, the world would be just bland. It would have no variations in the colors. You see what I'm saying? So when God made this world, you guys, I thank him because he made it be just the way he wanted to be. And I am so proud that my parents taught me to be proud and hold your head up. It doesn't matter if you're blue, black, whatever. I mean, be very proud. And the reason I'm saying that because I had a girl that came in my business and she was saying that the white slave master, well, actually, I'm going to back it up. Do you know that this young lady's great grandmother is living on a plantation right to this day where the slave masters left the the great grandmother's daughter the house because he fell in love with her? It's unbelievable. When this lady told me, she said she actually works with the girl that great grandmother's living on that plantation today. And I mean, when I say the slave master left it to the woman that he loved, who left it to her mother left it to her mother, it just passed on down the line. I mean, to her daughter, the daughter's got it. It just passed on down the line. And that was because he fell in love with a black woman. And I don't know what happened to his wife. I'm not sure if she died or not, but this still exists right now. The lady is still living in that house. She's an old lady, but she's in that plantation because it was passed down to her. Wow, from her mother, from the mother to the mother to the mother. From the mother to the daughter to the daughter. It just kept being passed all the way down the line. The lady still lives there, and guess what? It's not the slave houses. It's the big house. She still lives in the big house on that plantation today, and everybody loves her and knows her. And so they all visit. I understand that they go up there and visit her, and she lives there alone in her late 80s. It was passed down. So what I'm saying, there are still good Caucasian people out there that know God, and they know that God created this heaven and earth, and all men are equal on this earth. And you know why we're equal, you guys? Because guess what? Can anybody escape dying? If you can tell me that, then that would let me know we're not equal. Can you escape going to the bathroom? Can you escape, having to do the things that everyone else, getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth for? I mean, everybody has to do the same thing. It doesn't matter what color you are. And one thing, can you tell me whose money helped them live forever and ever and ever? So that lets you know right there. And this is why I'm celebrating Black History Month, to educate people that really don't know why God created African American people and Africans and people all over the world that are different than white. He did it because he wanted to, and he knew exactly what he was doing. because the world would be nothing without that mixture into the atmosphere. And that's just the way it is. And that's why we have, again, all races in our family. My little nieces, great nieces, all of them. Some of them are blonde and this and that and the other. You see what I'm saying? So some people can't understand it, but that's what it is, you guys. So for those people that are racist out there, they need to let that go. Because is that going to help them live forever? No. And you know what? Before they die, they're going to burn up before they die. And some people live and they're not happy the entire time of their life because of being that way. People should love one another for whoever they are, because I remember one time my car, I had a BMW and I was in San Francisco, and my car spun all the way around in the freeway, and it was a beautiful Caucasian couple that pulled up. Well, actually they were behind me. They saw my car hydroplaning, so they got behind me and put on their flashes to keep all those other cars from smashing me apart. Without them, I would have been dead today. And guess what? They were little white angels. They were on their way to Bible study, you guys. On their way to Bible study. And I was crossing the Bay Bridge coming from Oakland to San Francisco. Think I had been partying. You know how when you're young, This beautiful white couple saved my life. They were like little angels. And to this day, I don't even know where they are. So see, it doesn't matter what color you're. There are angels in every single race. And people should know that God made all men equal. But now we get a chance to celebrate Black History Month to actually educate our young people that really don't know. A lot of them don't know. They really don't know the history of African American people. Why it happened, what happened in slavery, who was our ancestors, this, that, and the other. They just don't know. And actually, most African American people, when you search on down the line, they have white in them. And like I said, it's because of the slave master, like my great grandmother is half white. You see what I'm saying? So we're all of it. And I don't understand how people could be racist. I really don't. It's no need, because the same people that may be racist, and that goes on both ends, the same people may need somebody. If there's an accident and no one's around, and they're hanging on a cliff, and they're just hanging by a string, and a Black person or African person from Africa come by, they'll be calling for help, and all that racism will go out the window. At a time of need is when people will change. Something will happen, and then they'll see that that same person that they didn't like, the same person that they hated, the same person who was racist against, one day will be there to save their lives. You see what I'm saying? Or it could be vice versa. That same person, if that person know that you was like that by them, they could just let you go ahead and fall off the cliff. And that's another reason why it's not good to be racist. It's always good to have a good name wherever you go. It doesn't matter who you are. So with that, you guys, I wanted to celebrate Black History Month, and I really wanted to wear this outfit, this beautiful outfit that a friend gave me. And this is real African fabric, straight from Africa. And I didn't know how to really tie a head wrap, and it was my birthday gift. And so that was why I did this show. And so I just want everybody to love one another, celebrate Black History Month, and thank God for Martin Luther King, because he opened up the doors and everybody can be happy together. And a lot of people got killed. You saw it. The marches, people got beat, people got hung, people got shot, people got batons beat down like dogs. But you know what? They did that for us. And we're still standing. Martin Luther King is gone. But guess what? The world is a better place. It's much better than it was before he put up that good fight. He pretty much gave his life for us. Because anytime you put yourself on the front line to save your people and something happens to you, you gave your life just like Christ gave his life for us. And I just want to say happy Black History Month to all of the people all over the world, all of the people that can appreciate the historical background of African American people, of slavery days. Like I said, my grandfather was in World War II, and he told me how they were treated. My great grandmother was half white because the slave master raped somebody down the line. And they're good people, good slave masters. Like I said, I had a client that came in my business and told me that her great grandmother lives on the plantation to this day in 2020, and not in the slave house, in the big house. The slave master died and left a letter. She even have letters. You know that's historical? To still have those letters from way back then when the slave master gave her love letters and told her, I love you. And when I die, I'm going to have everything for you. You. He did that to a black woman because he fell in love with the black woman. So everybody's not racist, even back then. And a lot of people were acting like it just because others were. You see what I'm saying? And they were afraid that if they wasn't racist, then the other people would kill them. The Caucasian people would kill them. But there were many Caucasian people that wanted to reach out to African Americans, and they couldn't because they were afraid too. Because if it wasn't that way, you wouldn't see all these mixed kids now. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of them wasn't racist, but they had to act racist, or they would have too been lynched. And I'm going to end my show. That was how it was. It's a new day now. People are moving forward, and it just doesn't make any sense to not love one another. Thank you for tuning in to Real News Talk Show. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And happy Black History Month to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Bye.